Today's math learning intention is to tell the time to the hour and half hour. Okay, have a look at this clock, year one. Can you tell me what time it says it is? We have two different hands on our clocks, as I'm sure you'll remember from last time we looked at time. We have this big hand and we have this slightly smaller hand. Now I know on this clock they don't look that different, but this one is slightly smaller, and often on other clocks you will see it is a lot smaller. So for example, if you look at my watch, you can see that one is a lot smaller than the other. But I just want to look at this one now. Can you tell me what time it is? Now, the big hand, which is called the minute hand, is currently on the 12. And the smaller hand, which is called the hour hand, is currently on the number 8. So remember, the hour hand tells us what hour it is. So there's a big clue there, it's pointing at 8. And the minute hand tells us how many minutes past the hour it is. However, if it's on the 12, do you remember what that means? It means it's exactly on the hour. So if the big hand is on the 12, which means it's on the hour, and the small hand is on the 8, what time do you think it is? If you said 8 o'clock, you are absolutely right. Now, if you try and think of a typical school day, I know that seems like a long time away now, but think of a typical school day. What might you be doing at 8 o'clock in the morning? You might be eating your breakfast. Depending on where you live, you might be already on your way to school. At 8 o'clock, I would say that I am in the classroom and I am preparing for the school day. Have a think, what would you normally be doing at 8 o'clock in the morning? Okay, year one, I'm now going to change the time on this clock and I want you to watch what happens. Did you see? Let's go back and watch that again. Okay, did you notice how the minute hand, the longer hand, moved all the way from 12 to 6? It moved a half turn across my clock. And did you also notice that my hour hand moved very slightly, but it did move. It moved from the 8 to about halfway between the 8 and the 9. Can you see? It's now sort of at the halfway point. So what time do you think it is now? Now remember, when the minute hand is pointing at one of these numbers, it can get a bit confusing because it doesn't now mean that it's 6 past, because it's a lot longer than that. It's taken a half turn and the minute hand is halfway down the clock. So let's just look at the hour hand first. The hour hand is now pointing in between 8 and 9, which means it's later than 8 o'clock because we've seen what 8 o'clock looks like, and it's on its way to 9 o'clock. It's on its way to the next hour. So what time do you think it is? We are going to count in 5s how many minutes past the hour it is, because remember, each increment on our clock means a minute, or each 5 increments means 5 minutes. So between 12 and 1, that is 5 minutes. So count with me if you can, starting here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, which means it's 30 minutes past 8, or we often call it half. Remember, I told you that it's gone halfway across the clock. Half past 8. Now have a think, year one. What might you be doing at 8:30 in the morning? You might be already at school. You might be waiting outside. You might be walking to school. You might be in the car at this point. What would you be doing at 8:30? Have a think. Okay, I'm going to change the time again. Watch what happens. Okay, the minute hand has made another half turn across the clock. Now remember, year one, when we did fractions, fractions come into play quite a lot when we look at time. So we know that this part of a circle is half. So that corresponds with time as well, because we can see that when the minute hand moved from here to here, it was half past, and now it's made another half turn. The hour hand is on 9, which is a big clue. It's bang on 9, and the minute hand is bang on 12. And remember what I said about 12? That means it's on the hour, which means it's 9 o'clock. Now, 9 o'clock means that the school bell has already rung, and you are probably in the classroom doing some handwriting, and I am getting ready to take the register. Okay, let's do another half turn. Have a look, the minute hand has gone from 12 to 6, which means it's taken a half turn again. The hour hand is on its way from 9 to 10, it's halfway, which means it's, say it with me, 9:30. And we can write that like this. 9:30.